panel here at Fan Expo.
Way to go, everybody. Hello again, I'm AJ Fry.
And I'm Morgan Hoffman.
We host a little show called Interspace that takes you behind the scenes of all your favorite genre content. TV shows, video games, comic books, movies, and sometimes we get to host panels with really cool people at Fan Expo.
Yeah, like really cool people. So we just have a couple of things off the top. We're definitely going to ask a few questions when the guys come out, and then we'll throw to the floor, so we'll get as many audience questions as we can in there. However, we have a couple of things. No questions about Season 2. We don't want any spoilers, and these guys aren't even allowed to say anything about Season 2. So
we
we'll
asked if we could ask about Season 2.
And they said no.
There was a sniper backstage.
Just give us the look.
The Demogorgon showed up.
Yeah. Ooh, don't talk about it. We're supposed to talk about that. Yeah.
Exactly.
And one question each, you guys, just so everyone can get as many questions in there as possible. No hugs, sorry, and no pictures of them, okay?
And no, can we reenact this scene together sort of thing?
Yeah.
Just questions for
Yeah,
our
because we
guests.
ourselves, like AJ said, asked all those questions before for us, and they said no. So
we tried.
We tried. So
shall we get them out here?
let's do it. You guys ready to meet the cast of Stranger Things?
Let's get McLaughlin, Finn Wolfhard, and Gaten Matarazzo.
So many people here, I didn't realize how wide it was.
Why is this so bigger than 8,000 people at Comic-Con?
Oh my god.
It's just a house lights are up.
This feels bigger to you guys?
Yeah, because I can see making eye contact with every single one of you. Everyone, because there's people over there, there's people all over there.
At Comic-Con.
What's up? Wait. So you see how it's divided right here. You know how they do? Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Don't even need us up
I
here.
was just gonna say. So this is the first time that all of you have been to Fan Expo.
Yes, indeed.
So how's Toronto treating you?
It's great. It's busy. It's busy. I didn't expect it like this. This is great.
It's like being back home. I like it.
For you, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's very respectful and nice.
I know. Everyone's super nice here.
Yeah, everyone's really nice. Everyone smells good.
We're known for our cleanliness, yeah, I think.
I gotta ask, we are at Fan Expo, it's all about celebrating things. Obviously, we have passionate Stranger Things fans in the crowd, but I heard, Finn, you were geeking out about Rick and Morty backstage. What are you guys geeking out into these days, aside from Stranger Things?
Spider-Man.
Reedus. Oh my god. He's right next to my booth, and then there's some people in my line. I have people waiting for me on my line, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna read this. My dad's turning around. I'm like, oh hey guys. Yeah, I got distracted pretty easy.
And Gaten
Me
said
in general, Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. Just the new movie was so cool. I loved it. You guys liked it, right?
I love Spider-Man.
Did you see Homecoming yet, Finn?
It's very good.
Yeah. It's very good.
It's like Ferris Bueller, isn't it?
Yeah, because of Homecoming, I've been doing a ton of research on all things Spider-Man. That's what I do. Is I get obsessed with one thing and focus on that for a year. And I get phases.
Do you ever leave a movie theater after you see a superhero movie and you're just
Yeah. That's me. That's it. I went out of the theater doing flips. In my room, I was jumping off the bed, I'm I can grip onto the wall. It's easy. I can do it.
Gaten was talking. Me and Gaten were making up a fight, Black Panther versus Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We choreographed it. It was amazing. He was talking about all his favorite Spider-Man outfits from he was talking about the history of Spider-Man.
I was talking about all of it.
Yeah, and
how the web series were, and so they didn't do the organic webs until Sam Raimi's film, and then the web series, I really like that. And I was just talking about everything.
Yeah.
Are you guys like this on set together?
Yes.
You know what? They say that me and Gaten are an old
married couple.
Because we at each other.
Yeah, we're just always hanging out, always talking about stuff, random stuff. Yeah. And there'll always be those little bicker moments where it's no, stop.
Because it's when we go into a scene, Caleb and Gaten are put your chicken nugget down. And I think of it Harold, put your
chicken nugget down. We gotta go down to the market.
And then it's all like we're like, I'm sorry, man. We got it. Sorry. We're always hugging out.
They get along in the end.
So, Stranger Things has become this global phenomenon, this huge fan base. Was there a moment when you realized, like, oh, this is huge, this is on another level? And what was that moment for you all like?
I would say when Brazil was reaching out to us on Instagram and DMing me, and then when I realized I had like 90 plus DMs.
Our biggest fan base is in Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
I was like, what is it plus?
Yeah, so that's when I realized, okay, now it's reaching a whole nother country. So that was
world, really.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Finn?
Yeah, probably the same thing when I woke up on July 17th or 16th. Or yeah, 16th. And I was just like, weird, my Twitter is blowing up, and now I have 1,000 followers. I should probably change my profile picture from my kitten to like myself.
What's really cool is that there wasn't a lot of advertisement for the show.
Yeah.
I only saw one billboard in LA. I'm like, he
freaked out.
It was on Sunset. I called Finn. I'm like, guys, there's a billboard.
I was in Toronto, and he sent me pictures of World Sunset, and I was just like, we made it. And of course, it's like, now, do you think anyone looks at billboards on Sunset? Like, do you think anyone's just like, oh, look at that? I was just like, I hate my life.
Well, we're talking about, when everybody, I guess it's pretty instant, the show comes out, all of a sudden, there's this huge fandom surrounding it. Did you guys, reading the script, shooting the show, did you guys know that it was going to be this popular?
Nobody knew. But I always had hope for the show. I always felt like it was definitely something special, definitely a lot of creativity going into it. And a lot of people say it's a whole big nostalgia feel and everything, and it brings people back to their childhoods. But what's really great about the show is not only does it bring people back and it's nostalgia and it takes inspiration, it's not a copy. It doesn't copy anything. There's like a weird echo going on with this mic right now. It's really cool. But it doesn't copy anything, and it's original yet familiar, all in the same package. It really is an excellent show, and the direction and writing is exceptional.
What was the question again?
It was just like, did you know, when you were shooting it, when you were reading the script, like, did you know it was going to be this popular?
Oh, heck yeah. Like, I knew it was going to be popular, and they'd be like, oh, people were like, oh, you're that kid from that show.
Yeah.
But not to this point, for people to, like, sit here and watch us talk. Before, it wasn't even like that. People were like, oh, who's that black kid? Yeah. I don't really know who he is. I thought
originally just going to be like, oh, I love your work. Like, no one ever says that, by the way. But everyone's...
We do love
Someone just shouted, I love your work. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Someone just shouted, I love your work. That was amazing.
Well, I know that...
We're going to go to the floor in just a bit, so I guess we're doing the single microphone in the middle, so if you want to line up to ask questions to our panel, feel free to come down the center line and get in line.
Run, go, run.
Fight.
Before we go to the floor, when we talk about the cast of Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown not here, but a super talented, important element to the show for sure. What was it like working opposite her, at least on the first season, because you can't tell us about the second one?
Well, okay, thank you guys for letting me hit this one. People know me as Lucas Sinclair that didn't like 11 in the show, but I, Caleb McLaughlin, love Millie. So, just want to let you guys know
A
that.
lot of people go up to me like, why are you so mean to 11? It's like, I don't know, that's the writers. I didn't write it.
Yeah, I'm an actor.
It makes sense. Like,
You did a good job then, if you all...
Yeah, I did a good job if I made you guys not like.
Lucas was right.
yeah.
Lucas was right.
Do you think one of the friends in the friend group would just be, yeah, okay. Like, no one would be that cool with it.
No, I mean that. It's like she...
I was a 12-year-old scared little
She
boy.
knew where Will was.
He's a logical boy.
She knew where Will was. Knew where to
Everyone's like,
find
shut
him.
up. Everyone's like, shut up. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Okay, I just want to watch this. You want to go to the floor? Yeah. Okay, so
Hello.
Peter Pan.
Actually, you're right. It's Peter Pan. I just have a quick question. How do you guys feel about joining the Lost Boys?
You wanna answer that?
Like the movie?
I think she needs the Lost Boys and Peter Pan.
Yeah, like my actual
I thought you want to be a game. Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
And secret handshakes and
Sorry.
stuff.
I'll be fine with that. I thought you were talking about like Corey Feldman, Corey Haim. I was asking like, would you be in the remake of The Lost Boys? And I'd be like, I guess. Bring it to me. But yeah, of course.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
That was really
Hey
funny.
guys, I don't know if you do this a lot, but I love your work.
Thank you.
Thanks for
He
saying.
says it. Yay.
I like your work. Do you have a job?
Got a
Do you work as a cashier? Because I'd love to say I love your work as well.
Minecraft Let's Play.
I like your shirt, by the way. It's finally a bit.
So my question's for Finn. I saw you on Game Grumps, and I want to know if you'll ever be on there ever again.
We wanted to, if anyone who watches Game Grumps show, okay, so fair bit. We want to do. There's this other guy who did another Guest Grumps episode called Jacob Anderson, who played Grey Worm on Game of Thrones. We want to do a joint episode for like an hour. It'd be awesome. But yeah.
What is the show exactly?
It's just like two comedians, and then sometimes they have on guests where they just talk about nonsense to make people laugh while playing games at the same time.
you were one of the guests?
I was. There's a lot of bad words, so not language from comedians.
Things is the bad.
That's true.
Go back to the floor. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
First I want to say I love you guys and I love
you too.
I love Stranger Things. I was wondering, would you guys like think it was cool to if you actually grew up in the 80s, like where the show was placed?
Yeah.
I think it would be super cool to grow up in the 80s. Probably, and then again not. Because you guys wouldn't be able to experience the cool kids. You guys wouldn't be able to know who we are. Yeah, like, I would be a 40-year-old man.
40-year-old man? What are you talking about?
I grew up in the 80s. I'm not 40 yet.
No, I'm just saying because like now I would be a 40-year-old man selling chicken. Selling chicken at a corner store. So would you guys rather that or this?
That's true.
Oh my god.
I feel also if we grew up in the 80s, you guys, I mean, Fan Expo was probably still around, but it definitely wasn't as big as this. You guys couldn't be at a panel like this.
Yeah.
So, I'm happy.
Do you like wearing the 80s clothes on the show?
Yes. Corduroys are my favorite thing.
Are they?
Oh my god. They don't look great, but oh man, they are comfy.
I think for me it's the opposite. They are the tightest things I've ever worn in my life. They're so slim fitting.
Maybe they didn't fit you right because mine were grand. Unbelievable.
You know what? I sweat when I run a lot, and when I have to do a scene and I'm running in the woods and riding my bike, and then when everything's tight on your legs and you're sweating,
to move.
and I'm like, come on.
Also, because of the running scenes and stuff, when you're like flailing about and stuff, they make you wear like 80s tighty whities. Because in case like you end up like they like fall over, you can see like the end of their underpants when they're like falling.
Which, by the way,
they did. I did. I always wore the tighty whities. That's their rule.
You guys don't wear them? We're like, no, we don't. Like, it's not against our contract.
I wore the tighty whities every day. Every day I wore the tighty whities. And that's probably why I love the corduroys so much. Because in Jesus, with the tighty whities, it's not ideal.
He actually found out in season 2. We had this in season 1. He found out like almost like the last month, and he's like, and we're like, oh my god, these pants are so uncomfortable. He's like, it's probably the tighty whities. No, we don't wear them. What? You don't?
May, the last month of shooting season 2. Like, you don't have to wear them. Like, but I do it. Sure.
So,
Costumes like that I wear. So
So
I thank you for wearing the title.
yeah, well, thanks for the question.
Oh, it's my friend.
Hi, I saw you yesterday.
We missed you guys yesterday.
Aww.
What was your first impression of each other? Or like when you first met each other?
Well, me and Gabe kind of knew each other from before, but when we first met each other, I thought he was like super cool. Because when he first met me, I liked that he like he could sing. He was singing, and then I remember he was like, "You want to see a trick?" I'm like, "Sure." He was like, "All right, look." Yeah, that name. And then I was like, "Oh, that's awesome."
Yeah, but when I was like, I met you when I was around 11, 10.
Yeah, something.
I was like 10. I was a baby child. Oh, I love babies so much. I'm like, you want to do the biggest hug on the planet? Oh my God, it's so cute. Okay.
When I first met these guys, I was at a chemistry read, and Gaten came in bounding with energy. And I was like, this guy must get so many parts. I was so like, this guy is the most Hollywood.
Yeah, I might have walked in kind of like that. I was just very excited because it's like the biggest thing that I auditioned for yet. So I walk in and I'm like, dude, hi, I'm Gaten. Nice to meet you, man. How you doing? What's your name?
I was like, Finn.
Dude, great. I feel like
It was more like this, like, so you're just like, it's like,
we're reenacting this.
hey, what's up? Nice to meet you, I'm Gaten. How's it going? So, no collarbone. That was the kickoff point.
Yeah. When I actually scared Millie. And like I was like, hey, nice to meet you. She's like, outgoing people.
When Caleb came in, that was like, I was like, this kid is so cool. I was like, coolest kid I've ever
I thought you didn't like me because I came in, Finn was sitting there.
I was with the puke, dude.
Okay, he was just sitting there, and I came in, signed in, Finn, sitting like down with his dad, and his dad like smiled, and I smiled, and I looked at him, and then he looked up at me, and he just didn't. I sat down, and I'm like, oh, okay.
This is my first big audition, and I was just like, don't puke, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
And then I realized that like he was cool because we went into the chemistry read with the Duffers, and then he was like, hey! I'm like, oh, you are nice.
Yeah, I think that audition was like the time I actually stopped singing everything. Because like I was doing theater and everything, so I was just told, just keep singing, man. So I did. And so like I was probably sitting in the waiting room next to me like, I was like, this guy's gonna stop singing.
Did you do individual auditions first and then together as a group? Or
Yeah, like we did self-tapes, all of us.
Well, actually, I went into New York for a face-to-face audition.
I did self-tape, like one self-tape, and then I went to New York for a face-to-face. Yeah.
Great question.
Good question, yeah.
Thank you.
Is most of the show filmed on a built set, or is
No.
it filmed?
We use the
Indoor
environment.
stuff, some indoor stuff, like that hose.
Yeah, but all the stuff you see outside.
What is that noise?
I don't know, I was clearing my throat.
Like 70-30, like 70% is locations and 30% is like is studios.
All the stuff you see outside, that is outside.
Yeah.
That is. People like, was that a set?
So everything inside is inside and everything outside is outside. Next question.
Hello.
Hello. Sick cosplay.
Thank you. I'm a little nervous because there's so many people. But my question is, what is your opinion on fan fiction? Like, about the characters?
No, yeah.
I got this one, guys.
Hang on.
Wait, you said what?
Or about you as yourself, because that exists.
Okay.
That's
Okay, I got this one because I've read a plethora of them. First of all, I'm fine with just on spec, like, what will happen in season 2? That's like fan fiction. But when you combine, I read the best one, maybe ever. And it's called FAC, which is I did a movie called It, with this guy named Jack Dylan Grazer, who plays Eddie, and that's our ship name together is Fact. Finn and Jack. And it's called Fact, a love story.
What?
And it's Stranger Things. The fan fiction is Stranger Things, 13 Reasons Why, and it all like mashed into one. And there's like 1,000 typos. If you look it up, you'll find it. And it's insane. Like the person who wrote it like didn't know like really how to speak English, so like it kind of didn't really make sense. But I loved it. So whoever did that, thank you so much. Sorry about
story.
Fact, a love story. Look it up.
Hey! Spaceballs. Yes, so I know you guys have a tutor on set for 2 hours a day.
3 hours.
3 hours. And maybe sometimes 5 for baking. But keep going.
Keep going.
So I was wondering, before the show started and in between season 1 and 2, how did you guys balance between schoolwork and auditions?
I
was homeschooled right before Stranger Things. Right when I started Lion King on Broadway, I did that for 2 years, so I knew it was gonna be a hassle. So I made sure I went to homeschooling. So that was the easy part for me.
The harder part was actually when we were filming during school. Auditions was fine because when I would do auditions, especially because I would do mainly theater auditions up in New York, they understood that we gotta go to school, and so most of the auditions would be around maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon after school's out, and I have enough time to drive up to the city because I'm from Jersey. It's about a 2-hour drive up, 2-hour drive up to the city. And but the hardest part for school, in my opinion, was when I was doing Les Mis on Broadway, because I would have to go up at so I would get picked up at 1 o'clock, and then I would drive 2 hours up to the city. I would do the show. I would get home at about 1:30, and then I wake up at 6:30 in the morning the next day to do the same thing for school again. That was terrible. It was the worst, but I loved doing the work, so I kept doing it.
Yeah, I think for me as well, auditions were fine, because most of my auditions I do self-tape, so I can just do it whenever. On set, it's definitely kind of a bummer when you're on this big set, and you're looking, you're doing these scenes where it's really, really dramatic, and you're like, cut, Finn, go to school 20 minutes at least.
A 20-minute block, which is the worst idea on the planet.
But this is the thing. Here's the thing. They'll say, we'll do 20 minutes, right? But we have to get at least 20 minutes, not 5, not 10. All right. So we're in class. Let's say we're at 17 minutes. Someone comes in. We hear the steps coming. People walking up the stairs. Open the door. We have to pull you. I only have a few more minutes. Oh no, I'm sorry. Come on. So basically we're in there for more than 3 hours. We're in there for 5 hours, counting those minutes that you've been doing school.
You're making us stressed, man.
They don't, come on. Yeah, they don't count it unless you get 20 minutes at a time. So if you get 18 minutes, they will not count any of that time. So you will not get that time for school.
Even though if you have 2 more minutes left. So,
You feel our stress.
thank you.
Thank
you.
Hey, it's 11. Oh, it's a little 11. Hi there.
First of all, you have to be my best friend. That's
What did you say?
thing.
You have to be her best friend.
I'm already your best friend. What are you talking about?
What's the kicker? What's in it for me? Friends or
Best
money?
friends.
Best friends.
And Millie. Millie has to be my best friend.
Okay, I'll
too.
be best friends this one.
That's it.
Okay. Awesome. Bye, best friend.
Are you Mr. Meeseeks?
I am. My head's over there somewhere.
Oh, Mr. Meeseeks, look at me.
So, my question was going to be about auditions, but you've already asked it, so I'll ask a different one.
Okay.
Since Stranger Things is 80s horror kind of aesthetic, what is your favourite either 80s movie or horror movie and why?
Well, your guys' spot is gonna be so long. Mine's gonna be the shortest thing on anything. So,
basically, to answer your horror question, I don't like scaring myself. So, I don't really watch them too much because I think too much. Usually time they say you have to watch it at night to be even more scared. One time I tried to do that, I watched the movie Boy, and I went up to my room and I thought like, there was like the boy in my walls. I'm like, there's nothing in my wall. And then I heard, like, on my wall, I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching any more of those movies. But my favorite 80s movies, I would say, is Stand By Me. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Because I was introduced to that because of Stranger Things. The Duffers actually recommended us to watch that because of the bond in Stranger Things with the boys. So,
yeah. I'm gonna go because I don't know why. I'll go. Favorite horror movie is The Exorcist.
Is that 70s or 80s?
70s. That's 70s. I know, but you said horror / 80s. So I think that kind of puts them in different categories.
That counts.
Fine. 80s horror movie, Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll just go there. Yes. Because it scares the actual living. I didn't want to sleep. That's where it gets you. It gives you insomnia.
And you also get to watch like young, hot Johnny Depp.
Young, hot Johnny Depp. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Oh yeah, like his scene is like he gets sucked into the bed.
Into the bed and the blood shoots up
Yeah.
from the ceiling. Oh, that was the coolest scene ever.
yeah, that's why I don't watch horror movies, guys. I don't want to be sucked into my bed and blood spurt. That's why I don't watch them.
Where are you done? Or should I answer?
What?
Should I answer or are you done?
I finished.
Okay. My favorite 80s horror movie is Evil Dead 2, which is more of like a comedy, but like whatever. And my favorite, I'll change the question a little if this is okay with you. My favorite movie set in the 1980s are both like weirdly like Jesse Eisenberg movies. One called Squid and the Whale, and then another one called Adventureland, which are both very good movies.
Oh, great. Thanks, guys. I love the show. Bye.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi.
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 I like your shirt.
You guys are amazing.
I love you.
Thank you.
Love you too. So how are your characters different than who you are in person?
I'm not very that intense, as you can see.
Yeah, you're a little more on the funny side.
I would say I think I would be more accepting to 11 than Lucas was. I wouldn't be as mean because Lucas was very brave to be mean to the girl and he knew she had powers. I would be like, oh, you have powers? Oh, that's so nice. Oh, you want a king-size bed? I'll give you like 10 pillows. Yes. Oh, you want egg waffles? I'm gonna go buy as many as you want. Alright. So that's the difference.
Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, like, what would you want me to do? Oh, you need a tissue? I'll get you some tissue. Alright.
Yeah, I think out of us three, I think I'm most like my character. I said most like my character.
But not as much
Most
anymore,
like my
though.
character. Not as much anymore. You're right. I don't know why.
It's
Maturity. Yeah, I walked in because like I was saying in the audition, I walked in like that happy-go-lucky personality and everything.
Nah, he's just so mean, guys.
I'm just a terrible person. But I feel like I'm very similar in a sense, like we both have. But here's the thing: as I try to be funny, Dustin doesn't. Dustin's like accidentally funny, and kind of less of laughing with him and more of laughing at him in a way. It's awesome. It's fun playing a character like that, and I'm a lot more sarcastic than he is.
It's also fun to laugh.
Yeah. But also, I feel like I'm less socially awkward than Dustin.
True.
Yeah, he's
Dustin, I feel like, he's very comfortable with these guys. If a girl were to like say hi to him, he'd be like,
You're not a spaz. Like you're like.
I'm not a spaz.
Dustin's
Dustin's
like
a
when,
spaz.
like with the hat thing.
You have your moments.
He didn't know where his hat went and all that.
Thank you.
Have you guys
Thank you so much.
sat down to play like D&D together before? Have you done any like board games or anything like that?
Well, this season we need to make like a date where like the Duffers, me, you, Noah, Millie, like Sadie, and like Joe, like just the whole cast.
If Joe and there'd be a riot, Joe and Chuck.
And everyone just plays, like sits down and plays a giant campaign, like that'd be great.
That would be crazy.
We'll film it.
I would love that.
Make it happen.
Hi.
Back to the floor.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So I don't really have a question, but
Okay.
my friend Abby really wanted to make it here today, but she couldn't because she's in the hospital.
Oh, no. What? Oh, sorry, I can't ask why. That was disrespectful.
No, it's fine, it's fine. She just wanted to say that she's a really huge fan of yours.
Oh, we'll tell her.
We'll tell her we said hi.
Okay, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna ask the question. Why is she in the hospital?
She has lung cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna do the thing, and I might get in trouble for it. Do you want to make a video for her? You want us to make a video for her?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Ramona?
Hi. You guys wanna join in on
we should get everyone in the crowd to say hi, Ramona, all at the same time, like all of us.
Yes.
Abby. Okay. Her name is Abby. Her name is
Okay.
Ramona? When's your birthday? No.
Okay, let's just say happy birthday to Abby, everybody. Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, happy birthday!
Get better.
Thank you so much for
Thanks so much. Good friend. Good friend. Good friend. Hey guys.
Hi guys. That was really sweet.
That was nice.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So my question is, if you could play any other character on the show, who would you want to be?
Harbour. I think because he's Mr. David is a beast. Like he looks big on screen, but he's like really jacked on in real life. I would want to be like him and save the world. Law enforcement.
I would think it'd be pretty cool to be Dr. Brenner.
No one weird like that. I think you should change it.
No, I'm just saying.
No, you said they didn't like me. They don't like you.
Like half of you just went.
Everyone doesn't like Dr. Brenner because of what he made 11 do, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying I like Dr. Brenner. God, I'm just saying as an actor, I'm not beat him personally. Play him. It's probably really cool to play the bad guy. I've never had to play a bad guy ever.
Quiet. Why is it so quiet, guys?
Well, it's not. Come on. It's so quiet. Come on. I'm not saying I like Dr. Brenner. Dr. Brenner is a butt munch. I'm just saying it'd be cool to play the bad guy.
He's a butt
What about you, Finn? Finn, who would you want to play?
Barb. She's gone. I'm just kidding, Justice for Barb. I'm kidding. Jeez. Just a joke, guys. It's a joke. I mean, it'd be cool. No. Maybe, I don't know, I think it'd be cool to play Steve. Or Jonathan, or Jonathan's, you get to be like all cool and shy.
Why would you want to be Steve? He was the reason why Barb died.
Oh, so true.
Oh my God! Oh, guys, I'm man.
Next question.
Time for
Thank you. Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm seeing you. So, my question is that in Stranger Things, there's many crazy, scary, and strange things that goes on in the show. But my question is that what is your most favorite moment or scene you had to play in the show?
Like doing or watching?
Answer.
Like watching back, like that's not ours, or like filming together? Filming. Okay, filming.
Okay.
Probably the first D&D scene that we ever filmed, the opening of episode 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a really hard one.
Ooh.
What was really cool was what was?
Can I go?
Yes, please go.
Alright, there was this one. Okay, there was this one scene. Not one scene. There was like a whole bunch of scenes where I just laughed and I couldn't hold it and control it. Like I don't know if I'm trying to. Oh, Gaten's good at it, but I'm gonna just tell you the whole scenario. You know the scene where Lucius is like, oh my gosh, the weirdo, and she's in the closet. I mean, in the bathroom. Oh, what's the weirdo doing here? Oh, we need to. Your 3-year-old sister talks more, or something like that. You guys remember that?
Yeah. When I was 3-year-old sister says more.
Yeah, says more. Like, I don't know what was going on.
I think I made you laugh before the tape.
Yeah, Gaten was good for doing that. But
I like to make him laugh.
You're making me lose my thought, man. You're making me. Alright, so basically, I was like, she said yes and no. Your 3-year-old sister says more than one tear comes down my eye.
Down like you was about to puke, like you went, your 3-year-old sister says more.
The best though is when there was an unspoken, like, when they would go behind Caleb's shoulder and not see his face, and Caleb would laugh but without smiling, and so he's like, and be like crying, like just tears. Like he wouldn't look sad, he'd just be like straight face, just like his face convulsing, and just like tears just coming. I'm like, what is happening?
That was great that was what was great about the D&D scene, because the first one, because the worst day to ever have a case of the giggles is the first day of the first season. And that wasn't just our first day, it was the first day of filming the show.
Yes, it was, yeah.
And the Duffers are like,
what did we cancel?
But the only good thing was that they were like chill about it, because like some directors, I don't know, but I heard like some directors are not like really good with that. And so, but it was a good thing that we like felt good that they're like, oh no, it's your first day, it's totally fine.
They think it's funny.
Yeah, they did. Right? I feel like, what are you doing?
The other one I'll say really quick was when we were, right before we talked to Mr. Clark at Will's like funeral service, and he talks about the Fleet and the Acrobat. We go up to him and we say like, we're in mourning, and there's this line at the end where Gaten has to say, oh man, these aren't real mill wafers, and like nobody cares. Which for some reason, like his dialogue, or not his dialogue, his like delivery was just getting better and better, and he was just like, we'd be like talking in the scene, and then all of a sudden Gaten's just like, oh man, these aren't real mill wafers, and we all look at him. And for some reason, it's
gonna look at you, because I was just
so bad.
I said, man, I don't know where it's at. I started eating them, and then they would have to look at me like that, and then I went.
The first time it happened, they had him like do like a 1-minute pause. Like he would take a vanilla wafer, he'd be like, oh man, it's not real vanilla wafers. And then Finn would be like,
and Randy, like Mr. Clark would be like losing it, and like Matt and Ross were losing. Like
what was really funny was the scene after that, when we were sitting at the table, and I could say my line, because I'd say we were thinking of more of an evil dimension, like one of the Veil of Shadows, and then he starts talking about like the dragons and stuff. They had to cut it out because when I first did it, I would shove a cookie in my face and then go, and then start talking with the cookie in my face. And I would say like, oh, and Finn. And the camera wasn't on him, and Randy would always laugh at him laughing. It was like always like a chain reaction.
Because it was always just like, you can't hear him. Like, he'd just be like, we're talking about more than evil dimension. And his mouth's all stapled together. I'm like, what are you... I can't act like with you doing this.
Gaten was just
the best.
Alright, next question.
Next question. Thank you
so much. I appreciate it.
Hi.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Welcome to Fan Expo. I'm sorry, this has been our question since we got in line. She can attest.
No
it's
problem.
a really hard one. Can you wish happy birthday to Olivia?
Of course.
Happy birthday, Olivia. I can't go that high.
Guys. Season 1 was awesome.
I'm sorry, what you said?
Season 1 was incredible. You guys did an amazing
Thank you
job.
so much.
I appreciate it very much.
Who's next? Who do we got? Who's next? You.
Who'd you?
Sorry.
Hello.
Okay, sorry. I love your work.
Thank you.
First of all, I wanted to say that I'm praying for you guys to win all the 18 Emmy nominations.
Oh, thank you. I doubt it.
My question is, because I know the Stranger rewatch is happening, when are you going to give us bloopers?
Oh man, property of Netflix. I mean, we told the Duffers, we've just been like, you gotta release them. Like, you cannot release them.
I don't know why they can't. They can release it after the show comes. You know what the thing is? Like, we had a blooper for first season. It was the funniest thing. But I just think Netflix is just very strict about certain stuff. And we're also considered very serious, and no one would take us serious if we have bloopers.
Also, it's a TV-14 program, and a lot of the bloopers involve swear words.
It's a lot of it does.
Yeah, some of the time. From you guys, the swearing is
from everyone, from Joyce.
Not me, never me.
In the original.
Oh, this is not a joke. This is not a joke.
This is not a joke.
You would never catch me.
So we're TV-14, and in order to, if you say, one F-bomb, you get a TVMA, which is like mature audiences. And the original Montauk script was like, F-bomb, F-bomb, every line was just like...
Especially my character said the F-bombs all the time.
Well, it was mostly Winona's character, Joyce, who just like, every line was just like, where's my son? Like, where's my son? Like, I can't say it because
you want to know the thing? Is like, how, like, TV and stuff, like, brings it down a little bit because it's too much, but honestly... That's how life is. There are some really bad kids out there that really curse up a storm. People are like, where did you come from? Yeah, so
thank you.
Thank you.
Got time for a few more questions.
Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
Kiss.
Good.
With the shirt.
Oh, I was like, what? I was like, I'm interested. You guys just
ran into each other.
So my question is, if there was one attribute about your character that you could change, what would that be?
I knew someone was gonna say that.
Why?
Okay.
He was right.
Let's rewind.
I
like the echo. Right? Okay, so basically, let's do it from Lucas.
Let's enter his question first.
Okay.
And then we can go down.
Yeah, let's do that.
No, okay, anything that I could change about Desmond? I don't really think that there's much of a change. I mean, he's a pretty fun character to play. He's pretty charming. It's a lot of fun to get into your comedic touches. And in season 2, who knows,
and I think
get better and stuff. So nothing really had to change.
If we changed any attributes of our character, the show would suck.
Yeah, it would. That's true. Like, I had to be the way I was for the show for it to be interesting, and him as well. Yes. But to answer your question, I'm gonna make this quick. I'm usually the one with this, but I'm just saying. Lucas, was very. He's 12, guys. Come on. He's 12. He was scared. Yeah. He felt that his friend was betraying him. His best friend he's known since forever, and then he was just caught up, and then he was trying to find his friend, and just
a lot of stress going on for him.
He was 12 and he felt, and Lucas, with all of that, he wants to be a superhero. As you saw, like, he had all the bandana. He wants to, just think about it. I know that Lucas wants to go and serve his country and want to be in the army. He wants to do right. But he was 12 and he was scared, and
Mike was kind of like, bye guys, there's a girl here.
Yeah, stop talking. Hey, how you doing? It's just that.
Yeah, Mike's selfish too.
Yeah, that's why. It was like Lucas is okay. You want to be season 2? He's a good person. Thank you.
Remember me forever.
I will.
Alright, might be our last question. We'll see.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Okay, sorry. I was like, in my mind, I was like, yeah, this. What are you doing? This isn't a question, that's all.
Okay, yeah, so I just want to talk about the music in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I found it super interesting how I don't know who was in charge of the music, like Duffer Brothers, I don't know who it was, but they didn't pick mainstream 80s music. They picked alternative, like Embodiment and Joy Division, exactly. So, my question is, I just want to know which of today's music would you pick to fit the Stranger Things aesthetic?
Today's music?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an incredible great question.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I got lost.
Which songs do you think would
80s music?
No, not 80s.
Oh, this today's music and putting to Stranger Things.
What do you think would work?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is such a good question. We're just gonna take that till we can think about it. Yeah, I think if we still want like synthy stuff, then we could go with like I don't really know any synth artists like Flume or something. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, because like Stranger Things has super spooky vibe to every song. I feel like.
Yes.
You know what could work? A lot of Salad Days, like gives me a good creepy, kind of like cool, like techno, like weird vibe.
Mac DeMarco's first album, Rock and Roll Nightclub, is really spooky sounding.
Yeah.
So I think that would fit it really well, and also has this track on it, so I think that'd be awesome.
A lot of Mac stuff, yeah. I feel like that could definitely fit in.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap things up, we got this huge room of fans here. Is there anything you want to say to these fans who have come out to see you today, guys?
Love you all.
We love you.
I love you guys, and I'm a nice person.
Entertaining panels ever. So thank you so much, you guys. You're great.
Love you guys. Everyone back there. Love you all. Thanks for being here, guys. Remember, Fan Expo Canada, everyone. Good to see you guys, guys.
Check out my Minecraft channel.
Look at that. Is that like a quilt?
Wait.
Is that a Finn quilt? That's a Finn quilt. It's a Fiddler quilt. Dude.
Oh my, yeah, come to the autograph signing, I'll take a picture. Okay, if anyone didn't see, these girls made a me quilt of pictures of me looking like 2006 guy on MySpace.
Dude, it's so cool.
Thank you, I'll see you guys later, bye.